anime has delivered some of the most legendary one-man army moments ever. Don't you agree? In this list, we're diving into the most jaw-dropping, hype-inducing scenes where a single character takes on overwhelming forces and wins. So sit back, grab some popcorn, and get ready for some of the most insane solo flexes in anime history. So, Jugai, a warlord who clearly didn't do his homework, sends an entire freaking army after Kenshiro. Now, if you've ever seen Fist of the North Star, you already know how this is going to end. Poor guy actually thinks numbers mean something against a man who casually explodes people with a single touch. He's basically the one-touch man. The moment Kenshiro steps onto the battlefield, it's already over. Hajime from Arifureta has the ultimate glow-up story in the history of anime. He shows us his absolutely terrifying powers when he sees Gaori dead. I love how Hajime showed up and didn't lose his cool. Instead of yelling in rage, he simply assessed the situation, saw that Gaori was dead, and calmly said, "Alright, it's time to start killing." Hajime Nagumo is basically the anime version of the Punisher. He always no-sells all of the villains and their dumb plans. He's the type who goes from zero to absolute nightmare for villains in no time. If there's one thing you never want to see, it's a Terminator in a maid outfit. Roberta, the Bloodhound of Florencia, doesn't just fight armies, she hunts them. When she faces an entire squad of American Special Forces, boy oh boy does she turn up the heat. Roberta literally looks like a demon while moving around. She's weaving through gunfire, dual-wielding pistols, grenades, and a freaking anti-material rifle that she fires one-handed like it's a Nerf gun.
この森にいる狐の皮を全部剥ぐまで狩りは終わらない。
連中、自分らが待ち伏せされるとは思いもよらんだし。
If there's one thing Goblin Slayer hates more than anything, it's goblins. And if there's one thing goblins hate more than anything, it's Goblin Slayer showing up. The priestess, fresh out of adventurous school, goes on her first ever quest with a party of rookies. Should be a great learning experience, right? Wrong, because they went after goblins without a clue what they were doing. And if you know Goblin Slayer, you know that's a death sentence, right? Sure enough, the whole thing turns into a horror movie really fast. Her team gets absolutely wrecked, and just when it looks like she's about to be next, bam! In comes Goblin Slayer, decked out in his beat-up armor, moving like a walking execution order. And when I say he wipes the floor with these goblins, I mean he erases them from existence. Goblin Slayer doesn't even take pity on the baby goblins. This dude just doesn't do negotiations. Next up, we have Gundam Barbatos' last stand that screamed, "I'm not going down." By the final battle of Iron-Blooded Orphans, Tekkadan is backed into a corner. The Gajalahorn forces? Way too many. The odds? Absolute garbage. But Mika doesn't care. And neither does Barbatos. From the second Mika plugs in, Barbatos is in full beast mode. This isn't just a mobile suit, it's a rampaging demon, swinging that giant mace like a medieval war god and turning enemy mobile suits into scrap metal. Mika's basically fighting on instinct at this point. His body's shutting down, his nerves are fried, but he keeps going. Barbatos isn't just a solo warrior, it's a solo catastrophe. Undoubtedly, one of the most frightening Gundams to confront, this guy had one arm and a tail and was still racking up kills. Mika was truly on the edge of death, but that didn't stop him from pulling as many bad guys to hell with him as he could.
そうだ俺たちはもうたどり着いてた
Moving forward, we have a man whose rage mode makes him look like he's possessed. Hyakimaru and Dororo had been through so much throughout the series, but this one moment that completely breaks Hyakimaru is the moment when Mio is killed along with the other innocent kids. This guy goes absolutely mad. His enemies should have realized they messed with the wrong guy because they were royally screwed. Hyakimaru literally tore through people like they were nothing. Swords, arrows, whatever they throw at him, it didn't matter. He's too fast, too relentless, and way too angry to feel pain. Hyakimaru is moving like a straight up beast, cutting through anything in his path, and you know it's bad when even Dororo, the one person who always has his back, starts getting scared of him. Hyakimaru finally finds his voice as someone who genuinely cares for him, someone who took care of him when no one else did. And then he loses her. You can hear the pain in his voice when he says her name, Mio, that mix of hurt, sadness and disbelief. It's the sound of someone who just had something precious ripped away from them.
穴蔵から出てきたもんが鬼だったってことにならねえようにしなよ。やめてくれ。ダメだ。鬼になっちゃダメだ。
So, how about it? Like this list so far? If the answer's yes, you know what to do. Give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, you might as well turn on the notification bell. Alright, let's check out the next entry.
完走天輪ブルーメンブラスト
Next up, we have Urza fighting 100 monsters and finishing them single-handedly. So, Grand Magic Games rolls around and Urza gets thrown down into this challenge where she has to fight 100 monsters all alone. It sounds impossible for a normal human, but not for Urza. Urza is the only one who has the guts to put up a fight with 100 monsters. Before the fight even starts, we already know it's going to be a major flex, and this girl really delivered. I remember watching this fight scene when I was young and it was pure inspiration for me. It still hits hard today. It was never about whether Urza could defeat them all, because let's be real, of course she could. It was about showing raw determination in the face of overwhelming odds. It was proof that no challenge is too big, no fight is unwinnable, and that as long as you throw your whole heart and soul into something, you can take on anything. Basically, Urza didn't just slay 100 monsters, she slayed self-doubt itself.
Titania, ここにあり. It まるで凛と咲き誇る黄色の花。
蒸し焼きだ。
You know a fight is legendary when it's literally everyone versus one guy, and that one guy is still holding it down. By the end of Full Metal Alchemist, Father had become almost a godly entity. He was broke and his power levels went insane. Rules meant nothing to this guy. At this point, every major character in the series had to step out to confront this menace. Edward, Mustang, Hohenheim, Armstrong, Izumi, everyone is throwing hands. And yet, despite being completely outnumbered, Father is still flexing like an absolute menace. And here's the thing that's absolutely insane. This is the endgame before Avengers Endgame even existed. A desperate last stand where every major hero has to team up just to bring down one ridiculously overpowered villain. Father puts up an insane fight, keeping everyone on their toes and reminding everyone why he's the ultimate alpha. I think pretty much all fights in solo leveling are one-man army fights, right? I mean, it's literally solo leveling. But underestimating Sun Jinwoo is the fastest way you could get yourself deleted. That's what happened to the Silver-Fanged Wolves. Yeah, Sun Jinwoo is an E-rank hunter, but he's actually more than that. When he enters a dungeon full of Silver-Fanged Wolves, most of you would think he's dead meat. But for Jinwoo, it's just another day. Before the wolves even understand what's going on, Jinwoo starts cutting through them as if he's harvesting XP in a video game. The most enjoyable part? He's not even working up a sweat. He's eliminating these so-called deadly monsters single-handedly, growing more powerful with each kill. What was expected to be a slaughter became a chance for Jinwoo to power up. From that point forward, it was crystal clear that this man was on the verge of transforming from an underdog to a true legend. Alright, so let's talk about Levi versus the Ancient Nine Titans, or as I like to call it, Levi's one-man apocalypse. Levi Ackerman, humanity's deadliest spinning Beyblade, gets thrown into a battle against the 9 OG Titans from history. Now, you'd be thinking, oh, 9 colossal godlike monsters? Well, Levi's got to be done for, right? Nah. Levi doesn't care if you're a Titan shifter, a god, or the ghost of Marley's past. If you're breathing, he's cutting you down. This dude has spent his entire life turning Titans into sushi, and he's about to show the Ancient Nine why they should have stayed extinct. People keep saying that Levi got nerfed in this part, but the man finally got to sleep more than his usual 4 to 5 hours. And look at him go! Holding his sword with 3 fingers, can only see out of one eye, nowhere near his full power, and he's soloing the past generations of each of the 9 Titans. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Levi. Broly versus every Z fighter from Dragon Ball Z has to be one of the best one-man army moments. No matter how strong you think you are, when it comes to fighting Broly, it's never easy. Now, Broly's not an ordinary fighter. He's a walking disaster. The crazy part is that this version of Broly is the only villain Goku never played around with at some point. He had Goku shaken from the start. He knew it was life or death. I like how Broly slowly stops using Goku's Saiyan name as this fight progresses. He calls him Kakarot at first, but later on he mockingly addresses him as Goku. I like the new Broly, but OG Broly was an absolute menace, and I love that too. This was the ultimate one-man army moment. He shrugged off every attack like a minor inconvenience, as if the combined might of the Z fighters was nothing more than a group of children trying to fight a god. He toyed with them, blitzed them, and dished out some of the most brutal beatdowns in Dragon Ball history. Clotheslining warriors left and right, folding them like laundry, tossing them like ragdolls. It was pure destruction, and he was enjoying every second of it. What's more terrifying than a Viking berserker? A silent Viking berserker. Thorfinn isn't the type to scream into battle or flex his strength. He just appears, wipes out an entire squad like a ghost, and leaves before anyone even processes what happened. That's exactly what went down when he took out 11 soldiers and their leader in the Vinland Saga. Thorfinn, still a young but insanely lethal warrior, has to prove himself by taking out enemy soldiers. But there's a catch. He has to do it alone. One by one, he slashes throats, stabs vital points, and basically assassinates his way through the entire squad like some Viking version of a ninja. Anyway, Thorfinn was still a teenager at this point. This dude was a walking death machine before he even hit adulthood. Absolutely unreal.
生きてたのか。しぶといガキだな。
3匹目。何をどうあがいても無駄だけどね。
Let's move on to a character that makes you hear boss music the second she steps onto the battlefield. Teresa of the Faint Smile, the undisputed strongest claymore, is the walking definition of untouchable. Teresa rolls up to a town overrun by bandits and Yoma, aka terrifying human-eating demons. The moment she steps in, the energy shifts. These guys don't even realize they're about to be turned into mincemeat. They rush her, thinking sheer numbers will do the trick. But Teresa? She doesn't even break a sweat. She absolutely annihilates them with the grace that makes you wonder if she's even trying. The title, Faint Smile, isn't just for show. She barely reacts as she wipes out every single threat in front of her. It's the kind of fight where you know the enemy never stood a chance, but watching them realize it in real time, it's absolutely divine. She will forever be the best Claymore, no doubt.
なんてね。 それで子供を盾にしてるつもりなのか？甘いよ。
ほら、来いよ。どうした？逃げんなっつったのはお前らの方だろう。せーの。
Alright, let's talk about the moment Gojo pulled up on Jogo, Hanami, and Choso, aka the time 3 special grade curses learned firsthand why Gojo Satoru is him. Now, their genius idea? Trap Gojo in a crowded train station. Now, sounds smart, right? Keep him from going all out by surrounding him with civilians? Wrong. Gojo walks in like he's about to miss his train, completely unbothered. Jogo and Hanami immediately charge at him, thinking they're about to gang up on him. And what does Gojo do? He just stares. Not moving, not reacting, just vibing. Looking at Jogo sweating bullets as Gojo takes off his blindfold is just hilarious. Gojo doesn't fight in 1v1s. Gojo doesn't fight in 1v3s. Gojo fights in exhibitions.
やっぱりな。 天元と聖徳術式は同時には使えない。
なぜならボスの戦いで士気が上がるのは君らだけではないからだ。黙れクソジジイ！
The OG Captain Commander Genryusai Yamamoto has entered the chat. Now, 3 Sternritters, Asnot, Nanana Najakup and Baz B try to jump him like they're about to do something. And what does Yama do? He doesn't even let them get a full sentence out. My man blitzes through the air, hits Asnot and Nanana with a fire-infused backhand, and they're gone. Like, actually one-shotted. These Sternritters thought they could take on the man, the myth, the walking natural disaster, and they got turned into barbecue in seconds. Moral of the story? If Yamamoto shows up, you either run or you get cremated. Just goes to show how much stronger Yamamoto is compared to the rest of the Gotei 13. Not absolutely wrecked Byakuya, one of the strongest captains, while Yama pulled up and incinerated 3 top-tier Sternritters like it was nothing. Easy.
Yamaji はそんな常識の通じる人じゃないんだよ。愚か者どもめ。
おい、ルフィ。
ルフィ様。
Luffy is deep in Fishman Island, standing alone against 50,000 Fishman pirates. Yeah, you heard that right. 50,000. And what does my guy do? He dropped them with just his Conqueror's Haki. At this point, the remaining fishmen gotta be rethinking their life choices. But Luffy is just getting started. He cracks his knuckles, activates Gear Second, and then just starts washing the rest of them. You got fishmen getting ragdolled, bodies flying everywhere, and Luffy's just dipping, weaving, and handing out fade after fade. Even Hody trembled at Luffy's Haki. In that moment, he realized he'd picked a fight with the wrong person. This was the moment that cemented just how far ahead he was from the villains in the first half of One Piece. One-man army? More like a one-man natural disaster. Shimazaki walks into battle like he owns the place. Because, well, he kinda does. This man is arrogant, cocky, and 100% convinced that he's the strongest Esper in the world, aside from his boss, of course. But here's the kicker. He might actually be right. His telekinesis is next level, letting him toss people around like ragdolls, and just to make things even more unfair, he can also teleport and predict his enemies' movements. Basically, fighting him is like playing chess against someone who already knows your next 10 moves. In this scene, he takes on the members of Scars and wipes the floor with them, proving he's not just all talk. The real highlight? When he goes for Teruki. Shimazaki isn't stupid. He targets the one guy most likely to figure him out. What makes this fight so iconic is how it plays with his perspective. The camera locks onto Shimazaki while the world around him shifts chaotically. For a moment, it almost feels like he's the protagonist. There are a lot of zombie fights in anime, but how many of them feature a woman in an elegant kimono absolutely dismantling the undead? That's what makes Shiki's fight in Garden of Sinners so unforgettable. She's graceful, deadly, and completely unbothered as she faces an entire horde of zombies. Most people would panic when surrounded by creatures trying to rip them apart, but not Shiki. She just sizes them up, sighs, and gets to work. Armed with nothing but a dagger and insane sword skills, she slashes her way through the crowd, throwing zombies off the building like she's cleaning house. And let's talk about that final moment. After her last opponent falls, she simply pauses as the body splits in half, the battle already forgotten. Tomoe's reaction? Pure shock. Honestly, same. This fight is equal parts beauty and brutality, proving once again that Shiki is in a league of her own. Remember when Rimuru was just a cute little slime? Yeah, those days are long gone. This scene shows just how terrifyingly powerful he's become. After the kingdom of Falmouth wipes out his people, including fan favorites like Shion and Gobzo, Rimuru doesn't just get mad, he gets even. The only way to bring them back? Kill 10,000 humans and ascend to Demon Lord status. Well, if that's what it takes. He heads straight for the Falmouth army, and what follows is nothing short of a massacre. Using his skill Megiddo, Rimuru executes every single soldier with pinpoint precision, clean, quick, and terrifyingly efficient. No screaming, no drawn-out suffering, just thousands of bodies dropping in an instant. It's the kind of power flex that makes you rethink everything you knew about the protagonist. One minute, he's a goofy, lovable slime. The next, he's wiping out armies without breaking a sweat. This is what happens when you push a nice guy too far. If there's one thing Guts knows how to do, it's survive. But this fight, this isn't just survival, it's a statement. Outnumbered 100 to 1, most warriors would run. Guts, he grins, his mission is simple, protect Casca. His method? Absolute carnage. The first few soldiers don't even have time to react before they're sliced in half. By the time their comrades realize they're dealing with a monster, it's too late. Some try to run, but Guts isn't having it. He swings his massive sword like it's weightless, cutting down men like they're made of paper. 3 kills per swing, bodies piling up like a horror movie. What really sells this fight though is the atmosphere. The eerie guitar riff in the background sets the perfect mood, capturing both the brutality and the raw emotion of Guts' struggle. By the end, he's standing alone, covered in blood, while the battlefield lies silent.
これ全部隊長が冗談だろ100人近くいるぜせえなゆするんじゃねえ傷にしみんだろうが
You'd think a little girl with pigtails wouldn't be terrifying. Then you meet Tanya. Right from the start, she's taking out enemy soldiers left and right. Thanks to her insane tech, strategic mind and sheer ferocity, she moves through the sky like a predator hunting prey. Despite looking panicked at times, she never lets her guard down. Every moment is precise, every shot deadly. The way the gunfire, explosions and orchestral soundtrack blend together make this scene feel almost cinematic. By the time it's over, one thing is clear, Tanya isn't just the devil of the Rhine, she's a force of nature. When you're facing the King of Heroes, you'd better bring an army. Ryder does exactly that, summoning his legendary force to take on Gilgamesh in what should be an epic battle. Should be, but Gilgamesh, he doesn't even break a sweat. From the moment Ryder steps forward, Gilgamesh treats him like an insect. And when Ryder finally charges him with his noble phantasm, bringing forth his mighty warriors, Gilgamesh pulls out his trump card, Enuma Elish. Now, if Gilgamesh uses that move, you know he respects his opponent, but respect doesn't mean mercy. In one devastating attack, Ryder's entire army is erased from existence. The battlefield falls silent, all that's left is Ryder, standing in awe of the power he just witnessed. He makes one last desperate charge, but it's already over. Gilgamesh doesn't just win, he annihilates. This fight isn't about who's stronger, it's about reminding everyone why Gilgamesh is and always will be the king. They call him Gabimaru the Hollow for a reason. This man just doesn't die. And in this brutal free-for-all, we see exactly why. With his hands bound, he still manages to rip through opponents with terrifying efficiency. He dodges, flips, and counters with pure instinct, using whatever he can, including his teeth. Yeah, he straight up bites a guy's throat out. It's gruesome, it's shocking, and it's also awesome. But what really elevates this fight is the animation. Every move Gabimaru makes is smooth, fluid and visually stunning. And let's not forget the sunset in the background, painting the scene in a hauntingly beautiful glow as he finishes off his last opponent. By the end, the battlefield is littered with bodies. This is what he can do while restrained. Imagine what happens when he's at full power.
化け物か。
これが伽藍の
Striga is already a powerhouse, but when she dons her day armor, she's unstoppable. Her first kill is an instant classic. She slices a man in half. From there, it's total carnage. Farmers, soldiers, it doesn't matter. Striga goes full berserker mode, swinging her massive sword with enough force to obliterate her enemies. By the time the dust settles, she stands victorious, drenched in blood, her armor glowing in the morning light. This is Castlevania at its finest. Violent, beautiful, and unforgettable. Let's move on to the badass old butler who decides it's his turn to cause absolute carnage. Walter Dornez, aka the Angel of Death, may look like a refined gentleman, but when it's time to throw down, he turns into a straight up horror movie villain. Nowhere is that more obvious than when he goes up against Jan Valentine's entire army in Helsing. Walter goes to greet Jan by cutting through his ghouls, even slicing through the bullets they fire at him, all the while casually dodging attacks that get past his wires. The ghouls stood zero chance in this fight, and it was apparent that Walter wasn't even giving it his all. If you think about it, the fact that Walter can effectively use thin wires as a weapon is a feat in and of itself, since it must take an inhumane level of skill to be capable of wielding something like that. He's toying with Jan, and it's making him smile. This genuinely gives me chills.
Oshi. もう少しだったね。あっしゃい。
Sato might look like he's a harmless old man, but give him a shotgun and a reason to fight, and he turns into a nightmare. This scene is Arjun's answer to John Wick, and it's every bit as brutal as you'd expect. Facing off against Japan's elite police force, Sato doesn't just fight back, he decimates them. He takes bullets like they're mosquito bites, weaving through gunfire with eerie precision. Every shot he fires is a kill shot, executed with perfect aim and zero hesitation. And when it's over, the surviving officers wait for backup, hoping someone has managed to stop them. Then, the doors open, Sato steps out, bloodied but completely unfazed, shotgun in hand. No one moves, no one dares, because if the best part of Japan's law enforcement couldn't stop him, what chance does anyone else have? Few anime moments define the word overpowered quite like Madara Uchiha's battle against literally everyone. The Shinobi Alliance came in confident. Then Madara walked in like it was just another Tuesday. First, he jogs towards an army of thousands. No hesitation, no fear, and then absolute destruction. He tears through soldiers like they're training dummies, dodging attacks with almost disrespectful ease. Kunai? Worthless. Jutsu? Worthless. Even the strongest shinobi barely make him blink. And just when it seems like the fight can't get any crazier, Madara drops a meteor. The Tsuchikage barely stops it, and for a second, there's hope until Madara drops a second one on top of it. The battlefield is reduced to rubble, and the Shinobi Alliance realizes the truth. They were never in control. This wasn't a fight, it was a massacre. Madara didn't just win, he demonstrated why he's the uncrowned king of Naruto.
勘違いするな。お前の作った力ではない。
And with that, we're wrapping up this list of the most legendary one-man army moments in anime. There are lots of moments like this, so we must have missed out on some of your favourites. Don't keep us hanging though, be sure to comment down below any debuts you think should have made this list. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of this juicy content. See you next time.